Welcome to the Farmer Tom Show in my ongoing series, Heroes of the Green. Today we have legendary attorney Aaron Pelly. How's it going, Aaron?
Great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, of course. You're definitely on the top of my list. Do you want to tell the world who Aaron Pelly is and all the work he's done in the cannabis and hemp space?
Sure. I started kind of back before we had recreational cannabis. I was kind of right on the first wave of medical cannabis and the groups of people that essentially decided that they were going to, I think maybe ask for forgiveness instead of permission. No cities or counties are really allowing like brick and mortar cannabis industry. And I was primarily in the space of representing medical marijuana patients. I've been representing those folks for, I would say, probably a good 6 or 7 years already. And that same group of people were kind of transitioning over time into this medical market. And I was kind of at the precipice of all of that, trying to figure out how we could do it and still meet with the approval of local prosecutors. It was really, much like it is almost at a state level on a micro level. Back then we had, counties that were going to allow us to do this and they were going to not necessarily prosecute or go after people. And then we had, you'd be on the other side of the mountains and feds were coming in and, raiding houses and throwing people still in prison for years at a time. And in some ways, a lot of that hasn't changed, but it was really fun. I would say back in the fun might be the wrong word to say, but it just really felt like you were constantly right at the beginning of something, and it felt exciting. It really was a community. The people when I would go to court, and at that time I was mostly in criminal defense, so that my job was basically defending people against the state. And patients from all over the state would come and show up in court. And if you know anything about the criminal justice system, if you go to court, unless you're a high-profile murder case or something like that, the courtroom's empty. All of them are. You can go there any day of the week and go and show. And we had this amazing community at the time who said, we're going to show up and we're going to bear witness. It doesn't matter win, lose, or draw. We're going to show up in those courtrooms. And it made the just most dynamic and hugest difference when those people showed up, because the judges realized they were being watched. The prosecutors realized people were paying attention. They couldn't just throw people in jail and kind of feel bad about it, but maybe a scotch later forget about the whole thing. They were being witnessed, and that experience, like I said, I don't want to say it was fun, but it was definitely an exciting time to be a defense attorney, because you had an audience, you had a group of people to play to, and it was important to have that audience and to be able to make those changes, because a lot of those cases we either won or got dismissed, and it was really fun just to be, I guess, a criminal defense attorney fighting for the good guys. Like we were defending people that had epilepsy that were growing weed in their mom's basement. They weren't they weren't hardened criminals, or even whether all those people need a defense. But it was really fun for me as a lawyer to be almost focused primarily on that particular area of law. And then, all my businessmen became, or all my lawyers should say, or all my outlaws became businessmen in some way or another. Sometimes for the worse, sometimes for the better. I still miss the community and some of the things that happen, but you still see a lot of it. I think that in the retail side, they're a little bit more protective. But I still see growers talking to growers and sharing their ideas, sharing their knowledge. Not trying to hide things from each other, but really caring about the plant and how the plant gets to the people, and what way it gets to the people, and them being excited and still feeling like it's an emerging industry 16 years later. It's still pretty interesting to do. So once I realized I was doing corporate law, I realized I didn't really want to give up what I was doing. So I'm still essentially defending folks against the state. So now it's the Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board, or it's the OLCC, or it's the California regulatory industry. So I'm still kind of my job's still focused on that. But now I have a team of other lawyers in each one of those states that represents other elements of that, whether it's protecting your intellectual property, or whether it's doing with litigation. Complex commercial litigation comes up a lot. We have a lot of partners that got together. Especially in the cannabis industry, you didn't have enough money and resources, but you had these amazing farmers. And it turns out that people that farm and people that have money are not the best mixture of people. because they have different worldviews, they have different points of view on what's important, right? And so mixing those people, I wouldn't say it's oil and water, but I would say it led to a lot of bad relationships because they just see the world differently. I got really lucky. I'm still lucky today. The firm attracts amazing talent of people that, our firm's kind of a lifestyle firm, so we're not trying to grind people up and spit them out. We're trying to cultivate a great attorney that really wants to be in this practice space. And so I get people that are wildly overqualified for the job, willing to just kind of come into the firm and be a part of Cultiva Law, which is really great. I'm really, really honored to have the team that I got and to get where I've been. A lot of folks forget, we're not playing on easy mode, but we're definitely not playing in the same field we were anywhere else. And so I very much mirror my clients in the fact that I don't have to compete with Budweiser or Philip Morris because they don't want to be in this practice space. And the same thing's true for cannabis. Big firms that are in high rises that have 3 white guys' names are not competing with me, and they're not interested in my market or dealing with my people. So I got to really be able to sharpen my skills and also be able to really have build a really large firm with some great people, and we do have competition, don't get me wrong, but they're my friends, which is like, again, like the cannabis industry, like the people I know that are competing with me are people that I sit down and talk to about the business, the industry, what's going on, what's not working, what is working. And so all of that is again, I just feel I feel honored to be in this, because I would be lying, I didn't wake up when I was 20 or even 16 or even, I'm not even sure if in law school I thought this is what I wanted to do. I did want to do something that mattered, and I wanted to do something that would make a difference. But once I did start doing it, I knew that this is what I wanted to do, and it's been really great ever since. And it's just helping people and getting getting this plant out to people without harm.